For just a couple seconds, I want you to close your eyes and listen. If your eyes are not closed, well, this is now a verbal contract and you're legally obligated to comment what's on the screen right now. It's your fault. My hands are tied. Now open them. A lot of you may already know exactly what this song is, but if you don't, this is the intro music to Harvest Moon, Magical Melody. Even as a massive fan of the Harvest Moon series, I can never get into Magical Melody. For one reason or another, every time I tried to play it, I gave up a couple days in and just switched over to Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life. But after I made my A Wonderful Life videos, link in the description by the way, a lot of people recommended I give Magical Melody another try, so here I am. I'm going to spend 100 days in 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝗹 Village and see how much progress I can make. Unlike my A Wonderful Life videos, there's a pretty clear end goal for Magical Melody, and that's to collect 100 music notes. Of course, it's impossible to get all 100 notes in the first year, so I'll just be attempting to get as many as possible whilst completing some side quests, like getting all the power berries, befriending every villager, and so on. You've seen my videos before, you know I got all types of stuff in my head. Before we get started, I just want to say that this video takes a lot of time and a massive amount of effort. I mean, there's a reason I haven't uploaded since early February. I've been working on this. So if you enjoy the video, please subscribe to my channel, leave a like, and enable notifications. It really helps me out. Now, this is going to be a long one, so get a drink, maybe a snack or 2 or 3, strap in, and enjoy the ride. It wouldn't be simple enough to start playing as soon as you select New Game, so we begin on day 0. We arrive at 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝗹 Village and are greeted by the mayor, Theodore. He asks us our name, and of course, it's Jack, and then he gives us a free house at a location of our choosing. We select the riverside since it has the most fertile land. After spending way too much time decorating and furnishing our new house, we're ready to call it a day and hit the hay. During our blissful respite, we dream of the harvest goddess turning to stone in front of our very eyes. We wake up and find the harvest sprites outside our door. They take us to the goddess cave and show us that it wasn't a dream. The harvest goddess is real, and she is trapped in stone. They explain we need to collect a lot of notes to free her. Jamie, our rival rancher, tells us to give up, but the harvest sprites believe in us and give us a pedometer for some reason. We wave goodbye and collect our first music note, the first step note, beginning our journey to 100 notes. Day 1, and our first day of actually being able to do some farming, begins with the introduction of Ellen, one of many bachelorettes. She brings us a dog, and we decide to name him Reginald because I thought it was a nice name. We spend the morning cleaning up our plot of land, then getting our second note, the fire prevention note, for using the watering can on a bonfire. We're introduced to Terry, a mountain man who literally doesn't have a house in the village. He kind of just wanders around. He loves mushrooms, surprise, surprise. We then begin tilling some land, creating a rock border on our property line, and getting another note, the first shipping note for, you guessed it, putting an item in the shipping bin. After all the excitement, we head to bed and end the first day. Day 2 begins with Bob banging on our door. He's here to explain us how to ship stuff like we didn't already know. We make our way to the seed shop and meet Liz and Nina, another one of the potential wives. Nina, not Liz. You can't marry Liz. Nina gives us a crop notebook, and we purchase some breadfruit seeds to plant. While exploring the mountain area, we get a new note, the rain note, for standing in the rain for 10 straight hours. We're soaked as we finish day 2 with another note, the woodcutter's note, after chopping our 10th branch. We start day 3 by spamming the save point to get another music note, the diary note. After that, we till some more crop space and plant the free turnip seeds we got from Liz. We spend the evening watering the crops, then heading over to the cave to deposit our 5 notes and transform them into a xylophone. We end the day by giving Terry a flower and whistling to get progress to another note. It's day 4, and we're introduced to Carl, who wants to open a cake store or a cafe or something. We water our breadfruits and realize that we made a mistake in planting all 9 of the seeds since we can't access the middle stalk. We spend the evening pulling some weeds and are rewarded with yet another note, the sun note, for staying outside in the sun for 10 hours straight. We then reel up our first fish, turn it into sashimi, getting the cooking note. We finish up day 4 by whistling a whole bunch to get another music note, the whistle note, and then we get our final note, the standing note, for standing still for a good long time. On day 5, we wake up and we water our plants, and then we get a cutscene with Jamie. She says she's not going to lose to us because collecting notes is a competition. Of course, she calls us a nuisance, but we don't care. We head down to the mine and collect some ores and gems. We sell the moonstone to get another music note, the gem note, and then we finish off the day by heading back to the mine and crushing more stones until we get another music note, the destruction note. Day 6 starts with our first harvest of turnips. We water our plants and spend an unreasonable amount of time outside to get the cloud note. We finish the day by doing some fishing and sashimi making. We begin day 7 with yet another note, the lone wolf note. As I go to leave the house, we receive another one, the 10,000 steps note. I can finally free up a space in my backpack by putting away the pedometer. After collecting the turnips, we make our way to the egg festival. After talking to everyone in the square, the festivities end and we receive yet another note, the egg dish note. We spend the rest of the evening weed eating around a village, and once again, you guessed it, we get another music note, the weed note. Day 8 is a long one as I harvest some breadfruit and catch up on all the cutscenes I've been neglecting. We head on over to the Blue Sky Ranch and officially meet Ellen and Hank. Ellen also gives us the animal notebook. After that, we head on over to the junk shop to meet Michael. He gives us the tool notebook as a gift, and we also meet Anne, another bachelorette. After chatting for a while, we purchase the expanded rucksack for 1000 G. Of course, we have to talk to our boy Blue for the first time. Then we head over to the woodcutter's cabin and meet Woody. He calls over his 2 apprentices, and we officially meet Joe and Kurt. We finish the day by visiting the clinic and meeting Alex, the doctor. Day 9 is a rainy day, lucky for us, so we begin by giving a fish to a dolphin. After that, we sell off all the fish and mushrooms we've collected so far, then finish a really short day by sowing some cabbage and potato seeds. We aren't so lucky as to have rain 2 days in a row, so we spend the morning of day 10 watering and collecting breadfruits. After saving up, we finally have enough money to purchase our first plot of land at 3-1 Flower Bud. The final act of the day is to meet Ray, the fisherman, down by the lake. It is day 11, and we begin by watering our crops, then heading up to the goddess cave to deposit some more music notes. The first 5 of this batch create this fun little drum thingy, and the next 5 create a nice little harp. We finish the day by heading down to the pier and giving the dolphin another delicious fish. Say that 5 times fast. Delicious fish, delicious fish, delicious fish, delicious fish, delicious fish. I did it. There go me. Like always, the morning of day 12 is spent watering and picking crops, and we finally start giving out some gifts, starting with Ellen. We start improving our new land by purchasing a well, buying some more seeds, tilling the ground, and then sowing and watering all of our new plants. Because it took so long to do that, we are rewarded with the night owl note for staying up all day. The morning of day 13 is spent looking around the mountain searching for berries and herbs to eat to make up for not sleeping. We remove the weeds from our new plot and sow some more seeds before heading over to our house and watering our cabbages. Of course, we're out of energy, so we eat some more herbs and get another music note. This time it's the big eater note. We spend the evening watering, fishing, and befriending the dolphin. Day 14 begins with a loud knock on the door. FBI, open up! As Woody, Kurt, and Joe are here to inform us that the well we purchased has finally been finished. This day is pretty uneventful, as the only noteworthy moments are watering, collecting crops, and then some more watering. On day 15, our cabbages and potatoes are finally ready for harvest. We water the crops at the new plot of land, and then we give the dolphin his daily fish, This time, we finally have enough affection to ride him. We jump on his back and head over to the secret island. In doing so, we receive yet another music note, the island note. We spend the evening catching some snappers, making them into sashimi, and selling them for some easy money. Day 16 is the day of the spring horse race. So we spend the morning watering, harvesting, and then more watering before running over to the square where we meet Doug and his dog. After meeting Doug, we also meet his friend Duke. There seems to be a commotion going on in the corner, and that's where we meet Dan and Ronald. Dan asks for 1,000 G.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
And after telling him we couldn't, he calls us skeptical and yells at us like an upset teenager. I don't know what his deal is, but he really needed that cash. Of course, we don't have a horse, so the festival ends without us seeing any races. But before we go home, we meet Gwen, another bachelorette. After a week of dry weather, day 17 is a rainy one, so we can finally spend some time clearing weeds off our property. We give Ellen a flower, and then we head over to the junk shop to upgrade our watering can to the silver tier. With our leftover cash, we head on over to Woody's and purchase the only available plot of land, 2 and then we head over to the secret island for some more fishing. We finish the day by purchasing some grass seeds, tilling our new land, and then sowing those seeds. Day 18 is pretty boring, so I won't spend too much time on it. We water and harvest some crops, we water our new grass plot, we fish up some snapper, we make those into sashimi, and then we sell some stuff. Day 19 is eerily similar in its boredom. We water the crops, we collect and sell the crops, fish on the secret island, then water the grass seeds. Day 20 is a little bit more exciting. We're back in the fields to keep the crops growing, but we need some energy, so we go up to the mountains and eat some herbs. Ellen gets a flower, and we decide to splash some cash on a barn. We finish the day by catching a 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗶𝗶 on the secret island, an uncommon fish. Day 21 begins with Kurt, Joe, and Woody letting us know that they built our new barn overnight. So it's probably not safe, but it's fast, I'll tell you that much. We head over to Hank's ranch and start buying some animals. We start with a lamb, which we name Cactus, and then a foal named 𝗂𝘂𝗀. By the way, all the animals that you see named in this video are named after Twitch chat legends. These are people who have financially supported me through tips on Twitch, and I just wanted to be able to thank them in a way that is deserved of their generosity. Back to the farming, we buy the clippers, bell, some animal medicine, and fodder to make sure our animals stay healthy and fed. After entering the barn for the first time, we're greeted with a cutscene. A random pig has found its way into the barn, and we meet the gourmet. He says that we can have it, so we name it Kevin. We brush our new animals for the first time, collect the flowers that we grew, and bring in the animals for the evening. We finish the evening by collecting and selling the breadfruits that we've grown in our new plot of land. It's day 22, and Hank wakes us up and gives us the reins, a tool that we can use to better move our animals around. We water and harvest our crops, then spend a lot of time ringing the bell inside our house to get another musical note, the calling animals note. We then make our way to the flower festival, where we meet Lila, another bachelorette. After talking to everyone, the festival ends, and we are rewarded with yet another note, the spring fragrance note. We finish the day by erecting a rock wall to mark our new territories. On day 23, we spend the morning doing our farm chores, watering, harvesting, feeding animals, and removing some weeds off of our new plots. We then enter the library for the first time and are formally introduced to Maria, yet another bachelorette and the daughter of Theodore. We then speed read every book available and finish the day by purchasing a calf, which we name Lem. Day 24 is pretty quick. We purchase a chicken coop, place it next to the barn, and then we head up to the mountains to get some herbs to eat. We finish the day by lengthening our newly erected rock fence. Kurt, Joe, and Woody once again wake us up on day 25. Our chicken coop has been built overnight once again, and we spend the morning brushing our animals, buying some more grass seeds, and tilling some more squares where we get another music note, the cultivation note. We finish the day by making some money by selling the breadfruits, and finally saving our progress. It's been a while since we've done that. With our new chicken coop built, we start day 26 by buying a chicken, which we name Ragu. Of course, what kind of digital farmer would we be if we didn't check on our new farm member and make sure that she was fed? The afternoon is spent watering our breadfruits, after which we head down to the lake and meet Basil for the first time. He seems like a nice enough guy. Once again, we end the day by expanding our rock fence on our ranch. Day 27 is a festival day, so we spend the morning depositing some crops into the shipping bin. I test to see if we can use the brush on chickens, and discover that you can, but also we get a music note, the brushing note. After that, we head on down to the town square where we see Jamie win the cow festival. We then spend the evening collecting and running crops to sell. Like almost every day in a Harvest Moon game, day 28 is spent watering crops and taking care of our farm animals. But today, we head down to the secret island and do a good amount of fishing. We take back our haul of fish and make a whole bunch of sashimi, which we sell for a tidy profit. The final day of spring, day 29, is very uneventful, outside of harvesting the final breadfruits for the season, cutting down the stalks, and selling our final spring crop. It's day 30, and we step outside on the first day of summer to a letter in our mailbox from Doug, letting us know that the Perch Inn is finally open. Of course, a new season means new seeds, so we buy a whole bunch of tomatoes, corn, onions, and cocoa seeds. We spend a blistering hot afternoon clearing out the dead old crops and sowing in and watering our new crops. We spend the evening looking for the new summer flowers and herbs in the mountains, whilst also poking around looking for honey to use as a energy resource. On day 31, we spend the morning doing our usual plant watering and making sure our farm animals have all the attention. We hand over a flower to Ellen, and then we head over to the Perch Inn, where we see a new cutscene with Doug and Gwen as they welcome us to their newly erected establishment. After that cutscene, we head over to Duke's bar, where we are introduced to his niece, Eve, another bachelorette. Of course, Carl is also working here for some reason. I guess he needs some money before he can open up his cafe. We start day 32 at the beach festival, where we are introduced to Nami. Sadly, she isn't a marriage candidate in this game, since she's the weather girl. We compete in the swimming competition, which I don't even remember playing the first time I ever played Magical Melody, but we beat Dan by just 1 second. It was crazy. We are rewarded with the first of 5 power berries, which will enhance our stamina by 20%. Not only that, we also receive another music note, the Blue Sea White Cloud note. I decided to clear up some stumps on the farm and didn't keep track of my stamina and ended up collapsing. We wake up dazed and confused in the clinic where Alex is there to greet us. The negligence of our health is rewarded with yet another note, the limitation note. Ellen wakes us up on day 33 with a gift of sashimi and a music note, the Apron Girl note. We spend the morning climbing a mountain in which we have to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge some falling rocks. And after reaching the top, we get another music note, the Rock Climber note. With those 2 notes collected, we head on over to the Goddess Pond and combine 15 notes into a piano, a violin, and a cello. Now that we have a total of 30 notes donated, we are awarded with the second power berry. After doing some late night fishing, we fish up an imago and collect yet another note, the Master Angler note. We head on down to the ranch to cut some grass and get our 4th and final note of the day, the fodder note. Day 34 begins with a new friend, a baby chicken we named Modestru. After harvesting all of our onions, we head over to Liz's store and buy some more onions and tomatoes. Then we head over to the junk store and purchase a copper rod and a whole bunch of cooking equipment to get another musical note, the Super Chef note. We head on down to the town square to give Lila a pretty flower, and then get a cutscene at the hospital where we meet Martha, a very important character that we need to start befriending ASAP. We finish the day by doing our best lumberjack impression and chopping down some trees. Day 35 is a brief one, so let's not spend too much time on it. We spend our day watering the crops, taking care of our animals, chopping some wood, and drinking some soda, if you know what I mean. Once again, Ellen wakes us up on day 36 and says she wants to float a bamboo boat. I don't know what kind of euphemism that is, but of course we accept. In the morning, we till some more squares, we pet a duck, and then we give the dolphin a fish. As the sun sets, we meet up with Ellen in the village square and do a little bit of pollution. Unless bamboo is recyclable, but I honestly have no clue. It's day 37, and another short one, as we begin by purchasing some more corn seeds and planting them in our newly tilled crop squares. The last thing we did of note today was go down to the Moonlight Cave and do some tilling to get some good clay, in which we sell off camera. Because we sold that good clay, we receive a letter on day 38 from 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗶 saying that he's just moved into the valley. Because it's a rainy day, we hit the mines again, looking for some gifts. We plant some tomatoes in the evening, and then head back down to the mines until bedtime. Day 39 is another rainy day, which means we can spend the morning harvesting some corn and turning it into some delicious popcorn. After dropping off an egg in the shipping bin, we are rewarded with yet another music note, the egg note. We head over to the junk store and start working on our friendship levels with Anne by giving her an ear of corn, which she loves, by the way. Then we finish the day in the mines looking for more gems before drinking some more soda at Duke's Bar. We stayed up way too late last night at Duke's Bar drinking soda with the boys, so day 40 begins in the mountains looking for some herbs to eat. We play a little game of whack-a-mole, then get a cutscene where we meet 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗶. In the afternoon, we place an egg to be hatched, give Nami a tomato, then run around the mountains looking for more herbs. We spend the evening hanging out with Duke, Carl, and Blue once again at the bar, drinking soda. Day 41 begins with giving Ellen a cocoa plant, which she loves. 𝗂𝘀𝗶 is finally fully grown, so we take him on his first ride ever. I'm pretty sure riding the horse is the same speed as running, so we honestly don't take him for a ride all that often. We end the day by slamming a whole bunch of soda until we get a musical note, the high spirit note. Day 42 is pretty boring. We water our crops, we ride the horse, we give out some gifts, and then we finish the day by dumping a whole bunch of goods into the shipping bin. Speaking of boring, day 43 is a little bit of the same. Of course, we water the crops, we give some gifts to some people, but this time, we deliver a moonstone to the blue shipping bin in the town square for the Firefly Festival tomorrow. We spend the rest of the evening running around the mountains looking for food. Day 43, the day of the Firefly Festival, begins with us watering some corn. We find some oranges by the ocean and sell them for a tidy profit, and then check the mailbox where we learn that there are some new items for sale at the junk shop. Unfortunately, it's a festival day, so they're not open, so we just head on down to the beach to put some weird floating glowing flower thing into the ocean. Again, I really hope these are recyclable or we're doing a whole bunch of pollution, dude. We finish the day by getting another musical note, the Firefly flower note. On day 45, we have some restocking to do, so we buy some chicken feed from the Blue Sky Ranch, along with the milker, some more seeds at Liz's store, and then we get our first milk product now that Lem is fully grown. We spend the evening running around the mountain looking for food and herbs. Day 46 is your typical harvest moon cycle day. We water the crops, we check the mail, we brush some animals, and then we give out some gifts. We begin day 47 by welcoming a new member to the farm, a chicken which we name Luna. The rest of the day is spent doing more menial farm tasks, like watering some onions and giving some flowers to some bachelorettes. Anne almost busts our door down the morning of day 48 so that she can give us some clay? I guess that means she likes us? I mean, we're awarded another musical note, the explosive girl note, so I'm fine with it. After that, we make sure all of our crops are nice and wet, check on the chickens, and finish the day by fishing up a char as we make our way to completing the fishing list. Ellen must have been a little bit jealous seeing Anne outside of her house so early yesterday, so she gives us a delicious apple pie to start day 49. After that, we go check on Luna and the other chickens, water our tomatoes and harvest our onions, and then head over to the secret island and fish up a whole ass tuna. In real life, this thing would probably go for a couple $1 million, but in Harvest Moon, it might as well be worth the same as the onions we're shipping. We reach the halfway point in this first 100 days on day 50, which we start by watering some corn and cocoa beans. We head on over to the junk shop to give Anne some corn, and Michael and Onion before we head down to the ranch and feed our animals. Of course, we're all out of fodder, so a trip to the Blue Sky Ranch is in order. And we end the day by fishing up a smelt at the lake and selling some corn and cocoa for some necessary funds. It's your typical Harvest Moon day on day 51. The only thing of note is that we watered crops, we took care of animals, gave out some gifts, and did some fishing. Nothing else to see here, folks. Day 52, on the other hand, is much more exciting as we begin the day with a music note, the Bow Wow note, for getting Reginald up to 3 hearts of affection. We then go back to watering our crops, giving out gifts, and doing some fishing. But today, we caught a sorry and a lamp squid to add to the collection. The 24th of summer and day 53 is the Firework Festival. We spend the morning doing some farm chores like tending to the plants and checking on the chickens before doing some spelunking. We made it all the way to floor 100, but because Tim isn't unlocked as a villager just yet, we come up empty-handed. As the sun sets, we head over to the beach where we are introduced to Lewis. We stand next to Ellen and spend a whole bunch of time looking at all the pretty fireworks. Our patience is rewarded with yet another music note, the fireworks note. We wake up on day 54 to a letter saying that we have a new villager named Ty moving into the valley. Before meeting him, we have some chores to do, like watering and harvesting some tomatoes and giving said tomatoes to Nami. We drop some milk off in the shipping bin and are greeted with another music note, the milking note, for selling 10 jugs of milk. After that, we head on over to meet Ty, who appears to be a blacksmith of some sort, and we also meet Tim, his nephew, or son, or something. I'm not really sure what their relationship is, but it would have been really nice if he was here a couple days earlier. We finish the day off with yet another cutscene, as Lila has finally moved into the valley and set up her own shop. With all those exciting additions to the valley out of the way, day 55 is about getting back to basics. I'm talking watering, I'm talking ranching, gift giving, making money, and running around the mountains looking for food, because guess what? We're running out of stamina still. It's a rainy day on day 56, so we spend the morning harvesting some corn and raising affection levels of our chickens. For those of you who might want to play this game after watching this video, Anne loves corn, so make sure to stock up a bunch and give her some every day. After that, we take a ride on the back of our friend the dolphin to go fishing on the secret island, and we catch a whole bunch of tuna and other fish and cook them up for gifts and money. We got 2 rainy days in a row, y'all. Day 57 is shaping up to be a lucky one. We harvest some more crops, feed our large animals, and then we head straight over to the secret island to do some fishing. It looks like we did have a nice lucky day as we finally catch some kingfish. We catch the squid prince, which you can only catch on the island, and we also caught the hutchin over at the lake. Both of these fish sell for about 1,000 G each, so that's some good money, and we crossed some fish off the list. Day 58 is the day of the sheep festival, so we get our chores out of the way early by watering some crops and feeding the chickens. Our tomatoes are finally ready for harvest, so we get all those put away before heading over to the town square and entering Cactus into the sheep judging competition. Of course, we lose to Jamie, but there's always next year. And all that excitement is cut short on day 59. It's the final day of summer, and it's spent feeding our animals, giving Blue some popcorn, shearing cactus for the first time, and finally, harvesting and selling our final batch of summer crops. The first day of fall and day 60 begins on a somber note, as Basil waves goodbye and leaves the valley. We also receive a letter from Carl that his new cafe is now open, and that Duke and Doug have expanded their bars and inns respectively. We spend most of this first day clearing out the old and dead crops, purchasing the eggplant, pumpkin, yam, bell pepper, spinach, and carrot seeds, and then sowing those seeds in our cleared plots. We end the day by going around the valley and tilling spots next to trees to assist in truffle hunting. On the morning of day 61, just after letting us know in a letter that he opened his cafe, Carl decides to skip town. But some good news arrives in the mailbox as the sanatorium is now open for business. Since it's a rainy day, we can go straight to taking care of the animals and purchasing some more fodder before tilling some more squares for truffle hunting. After all that digging, we sell the final flower needed to get a music note, the full bloom flowers note. After that, we head over to the new sanatorium where we meet Gina and Dia, 2 more bachelorettes. We finish the day off by tilling more squares around some trees in the valley to look for that elusive truffle. On day 62, we welcome yet another chicken into the coop. We name her Pickle. The harvest sprites are also just outside our door and teach us a recipe for mushroom soup. Our first day without rain in the fall means we finally need to start watering our eggplants and bell peppers by hand. We take care of the chickens, give out some gifts, and then spend the remainder of the day fishing for fall fish. We catch a salmon, a maple flounder, and a kingfish. Quotations around the word fish there. It's actually just a boot. That's the right foot version that's really hard to catch. We awake to Kurt at our door on day 63, and he gives us a pink herb, a token of his friendship and another musical note, the cool craftsman note. The remainder of the day is spent taking care of the animals and fishing on the island searching for that elusive shrimp. I guess Anne didn't like seeing Kurt at our door so early in the morning, so on day 64 she gives us some vegetable dish that we're probably going to give right back to her. We then water our flowering eggplants, collect some eggs from the chickens, do some mountain foraging, then finish the day with some late night fishing. It's day 65, and we unearth our first truffle. We go straight to drop it off in the shipping bin and get a music note, the oink oink note. We feed our animals, water the sweet potatoes and eggplants, then take some of our harvest eggplants and start working on our affection levels with Maria, since she loves eggplants so much. We then read all the books in the library and get yet another music note, the book note. In the evening, we finish the day by harvesting and selling all of the remaining eggplants for a nice profit. After a couple of exciting days, we're back into the loop on day 66, starting with feeding chickens, cooking some eggs up, watering crops, and giving girls some flowers. Day 67 continues that loop as we continue raising affection levels of our animals. We keep our plants moist, we harvest the eggplants, and then we give them to some villagers. We spend the evening clearing out some weeds since it's gotten so ugly on the farm. After toiling in the harvest moon cycle, Ellen knocks us out of it as she invites us to the full moon viewing on day 68. Of course, we say yes and start knocking off our farm chores like watering, ranching, harvesting, and foraging. And then we meet Ellen once again in the town square and teleport to the moon view location where we get a nice shot of us and Ellen looking at the moon. Our evening is capped off with a music note, the moon viewing note. On day 69, nice. We wake up to another music note. This time it's the very rich note. We've got 100,000 G in our bank account, but the grind doesn't stop, and we got animals to take care of. Of course, we need a little reward for our Sigma grind set by purchasing a second home that's right next to the barn and the coop. This should make ranching a lot easier. We purchase some more chicken food since we recently ran out, give Bob an egg to start befriending him, then spend the evening harvesting and selling our ripe crops. And just like that, we're back in the loop on day 70. As we're watering crops, we're brushing some animals, we're putting sweet potatoes in a fire, and we're giving Lewis a bell pepper. We're woken up by Kurt, Joe, and Woody on day 71, letting us know that our new house has been finished. We name it the Ranch House because it's by the ranch, and we are awarded with another music note, the second house note. We go ahead and rename our main house to the River House for continuity, and give Maria an eggplant, if you know what I mean. Remember how I mentioned Martha was an important character to befriend? Well, we finally stumble into a cutscene where she will now repair a rucksack if we give her some yarn. Unfortunately, I don't have any on me, and Lila's shop is closed on Mondays, so I guess we'll just end the day here. On day 72, we begin by giving Blue an eggplant. We receive our first special milk from Lem, and our first special egg from Ragu. Now that Lila's shop is open, we buy the cheapest yarn she has and take it over to Martha, where we get a cute little cutscene where she takes back our rucksack, repairs it, and now we can hold 15 items. With our newly increased carrying capacity, we plant some carrots and finish the day by erecting a stone fence around our land and killing some weeds. It's day 73, and we have a classic Harvest Moon day once again. Today's highlights are watering plants, giving out gifts, feeding some chickens, making some baked yams, then harvesting and selling some ripe crops. We begin day 74 with some real estate investing as we purchased 𝗙𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗹 and purchased our third house and put it right on our new land. Cactus is looking a little shaggy, so we give her a shear and then spend the remainder of the evening expanding our stone fence and getting rid of some weeds. On day 75, the excitement of new property dies down, and we're back to watering plants, giving out gifts, taking care of the chickens, and harvesting and selling all of our ripe crops for some money to make up what we spent on all of our real estate empire. Maria wakes us up on day 76 to hand deliver some pickled radishes or something. I don't know what it's in this weird little paper box thing. But anyways, more importantly, we get another music note, the talented girl note. Fall 17th is the horse festival, so we water our crops, feed the animals, and run down to the town square where we enter 𝗂𝘁𝗃 and the level 2 horse race. As the horns sound, we start off flying. And just as we're about to run out of stamina, bam, we get a 𝗠𝗲𝗱𝗶𝗶 root boost. Bob and his horse push us to the outside, and they collect an apple, sending him further along. We miss out on an onion and a carrot. But as soon as you think it's over, guess what? We take the inside line. We get another 2 𝗠𝗲𝗱𝗶𝗶 root boosts that push our stamina into the green, while everyone else is in the red. We push 𝗂𝘁𝗃 across the line, into first place, leaving Bob, Jamie, and Blue in the dust, with their horses dazed and confused. As we stand on the stage, the valley celebrates our victory, as we're awarded a second power berry for our victory. We also collect another music note, the horse race note. Day 77 begins with the construction bros outside of our house, letting us know that our new level 3 house is finally ready. We name it the Big House because it's big. Blue also stops by this morning and gives us some milk, and we collect yet another note, the cowboy note. Yeehaw! We spend the rest of the day giving out gifts, purchasing some bird feed, and buying up all the remaining furniture from the construction bros store. Nina becomes the third person in a row to wake us up with a gift on day 78. We get some honey and yet another music note, the flower girl note, our 50th note of the playthrough. Before we head over to the goddess pond, we water our crops and tend to the chickens. Of course, we need to decorate our new houses as well. Look how nice it looks now. We give Maria another eggplant and finally decide to bank some of our notes with the harvest goddess. In this round of donations, we make a flute, a guitar, and a trumpet. Now that we have 50 notes, we've created all the instruments that the harvest sprites and the animals of the valley need to play a little song that eventually revives the harvest goddess from being stoned. And that way, these instruments are kind of like eye drops and cologne. If you know, you know.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Of course, now that we've revived the harvest goddess, the credits roll, and that's the end of the game. I'm joking. The video's not over. The game's not over. There's still plenty of content. There's still plenty of game to play. And Jamie, make sure to let us know that as we end day 78. Of course, a monumental day must be followed by a boring day. So day 79 is just that. We water the crops, we give some girls some gifts, we take care of some animals, and then we harvest and sell some ripe eggplants. Gina almost breaks the door down on day 80 to give us a glass of milk, and another music note, the girl with glasses note. Also, Blue sent us a letter to let us know that winter is coming. So we follow his advice and plant some pumpkins, check on the animals, give out some gifts, expand our rock wall on the ranch, then get some weeds off the property. It's day 81 and we got another girl at our front door bringing us breakfast. This time it's Gwen, and she's got another note for us, the ponytail note. We water some crops and give our animals a nice brushing before giving out some gifts. We head over to the goddess pond and get a free stamina boost and finish the day by harvesting and selling some eggplants and bell peppers. We begin day 82 by giving Ellen a gift and pushing her to 10 hearts. She is the first villager that we have reached max affection with. We continue the day by watering the crops, purchasing some more carrot seeds, then planting those seeds. We finish the day by purchasing 𝗙𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗹 to consolidate this row near the Blue Sky Ranch and getting rid of a lot of weeds on the property. Before bed, we get a letter from Woody, rubbing in that we spent a lot of money on buying stuff from him. The Harvest Festival begins on day 83 as we water our bell peppers and eggplants. We make sure our chickens are fed and given their daily pets, harvest and sell a whole bunch of ripe eggplants and bell peppers, then head down to the village center. Here, we officially meet the gourmet for the first time, even though he's already given us his pig. But after all the festivities are over, we receive another music note, the Harvest Note. We spend the evening of the festival collecting rocks in the mountain and then placing them along the edge of our new plots of land. Day 84 begins on a somber note as Tim leaves the valley for a while. Other than that, it's a pretty boring day. We water the crops, give out some eggplants, got 'em, and take care of the large animals. Speaking of watering crops, giving out gifts, and taking care of animals, that's exactly what we do on day 85. The only twist in that cycle is that we spent the evening of this day collecting rocks and continuing to erect our stone fence. We check the mailbox first thing in the morning on day 86 and receive a letter from Blue talking about a tomboy he can't get out of his mind.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
I mean, I'm flattered. I'm kind of pissed that you think of me as a girl, but I mean, I don't play for that team, Blue. I mean, you're my friend, and I support your decision, but you know, I'm not down like that. We spend the rest of the day doing some fishing, watering, gift giving, and animal feeding. We wrap the day up by finally getting rid of that eyesore of a rock on our new land. Bob sent us a letter on day 87 with some tips on how to make our ranch better. I may not follow them, but thanks anyway, Bob. You're the man. Today, we decide that we need to get working on some more music notes, so we buy a sheep miracle potion and use it on Cactus. We then give Bob an egg as a thank you for the nice letter. It's day 88, and we find ourselves giving Woody an eggplant in the early morning. It's just two dudes sharing a love for vegetables here. There's nothing else to see. Cactus is also now sequestered, so we give her some food before dropping off a pumpkin in the town square shipping bin since tomorrow is the pumpkin festival. We spend the rest of the day picking all of the weeds off the ranch in the soaking rain because we're built different, baby. Day 89, the pumpkin festival and the final day of fall, begins with Alex at our doorstep giving us some herbs and a music note, the doctor note. We receive some special milk from Lem and then spend the afternoon cutting down the grass since it'll be dead in the winter anyways. We head on over to the town square where the pumpkin festival is getting underway. Theodore gives us our third power berry for putting the pumpkin in the blue shipping bin the day before. And of course, we eat it with gratitude. After talking to all the festival goers, we end the fall season with another music note, the pumpkin note. The first day of winter, day 90, begins with Bob giving us an egg, a smile, and a really manly music note, the male note. We don't want Blue to feel jealous, of course, so we give him an eggplant and then check on the chickens down at the ranch. We upgrade our hammer to the copper tier at the junk shop and then spend the evening at the secret island looking for some fish that you can only catch in the winter. Maria has yet another gift of pickled radish, or whatever she puts in this weird square box, on day 91, and most of the morning is spent cleaning up the dead plants from the fall. After all that hard work, we head over to Lila's and give her a gift before giving Lem a good brushing. We finish day 91 by fishing in the ocean. After way too much time and effort, we finally catch the flounder that we've been looking for. Gina stops by on day 92 to give us some breakfast, and we're gonna need it because today is super exciting. We take care of the chickens, we give Theodore a baked yam, and spend the whole evening fishing on the secret island trying to get a shrimp. See? Super exciting. In all seriousness, day 93 is pretty sweet. We start by feeding the chickens, brushing some animals, giving some gifts, stocking up on chicken feed, but after a good long tussle with a fish on the secret island, we're rewarded with that ever elusive shrimp. If you've played Magical Melody, you know how hard it is to get the shrimp. We spend the rest of the snowy evening in the valley looking for rocks and increasing our stone border on the ranch. As we're collecting more rocks for round 2, we are surprised with another music note, the snow note. It's day 94 and look who's back in town. It's Tim. With Tim back, we make the decision to go back into the mines. But first, We have to finish the stone wall around the ranch and milk the cow. We make our way to the lake cave for the first time and start falling down the holes. We reach level 69. Nice, second one of the video. But more importantly, we finally get to level 100 and get another music note, the underground lake note. While we're here, we have quite the battle with another fish, the 𝗙𝗵𝗲𝗶𝗹. This was the final fish we needed to catch them all, and we're rewarded in the completion of our quest with another note, the expert angler note. After a couple of exciting days, day 95 is a boring one, as we feed Cactus, give Ray some special butter, and have the harvest goddess rejuvenate us, if you know what I mean. We upgrade our fishing rod to silver down at the junk shop, and check the mailbox, where Alex wrote us a very nice letter, making sure we take care of ourselves. Thanks, Alex, you're the best. The special butter must have made Ray feel a certain way, because he's acting up. He's giving us a fish and another music note on day 96, the fisherman note. After selling the sashimi we made from Ray's fish, we read Ellen's winter greetings note. Of course, we take care of our animals, but we go straight to the lake cave to do some diamond mining, and then we sell our haul. We race down to the festival and do a bit of time traveling, as the sun is somehow higher in the sky now. We enter Ragu in the chicken festival, but of course, we lose, and our consolation is that we have to wave our hand as we stand underneath the victorious blue. I realize on day 97 that I'm not getting any new furniture because I need to upgrade the starter house, not build a new level 3 house. So we begin rectifying this mistake by relocating and renaming the houses. The river house is now the main house. The big house is now the ranch house. The ranch house will now become the river house. We start the day in earnest by milking Lem, then going all the way to level 100 in the Moonlight Cave. Now that Tim is back in town, he meets us all the way at the bottom and is so happy to see us he gives us the final power berry. We now have reached max stamina and celebrate by doing some gold farming at level 100. Joe, Kurt, and Woody wake us up on day 98 to let us know that our house relocation was successful. I guess they picked it up and plopped it down in the middle of the night while we were still asleep. Bob also sent us a letter and let us know that we can't plant crops in the winter. Thanks, Bob. We then continue the Great House migration by moving the former ranch house to its rightful place on the river plot. We feed and brush Cactus to her heart's content, then sell some special eggs that our lovely chickens laid. We head on down to Ty's workshop and upgrade our watering can to the gold level for 700G, a gold ore, and a couple of days worth of labor. We then give Anne a leftover rare ore from our spelunking. I've gone way too long without being able to purchase fertilizer, so we head on down to level 45 in the lake cave and start collecting some limestone. Of course, limestone was the last ore I needed to ship to get another music note, the treasure hoard note. On day 99, the construction bros are at the door again. The river house is now in place, so we can move the ranch house to its final resting spot. Of course, we still have to take care of the chickens, keep our stock of bird feed high, and give out some gifts to continue working on affection with the villagers. Fun fact, Bob loves silver. To finish the day, we're lucky enough to fall on level 50 of the lake cave, so that means we can do some diamond farming. And of course, we call it a night by selling off all those gems that we collected. In the final day of this video, day 100 begins with, once again, Joe, Kurt, and Woody waking us up and letting us know they've moved our house. Then, we're prompted with the fact that Cactus has finally given birth. We name the new sheep Sharpie and receive the Birth of Life note. Unfortunately for us, day 100 is marked by a terrible snowstorm, and we're unable to go outside. So let's just go ahead and recap everything that we've accomplished in these first 100 days. We've got the max amount of slots in the backpack. We've reached max hearts with one villager, Ellen, and I've gotten up to 3 hearts or above with a whole bunch of villagers. And we've received 64 of the 100 music notes. We've caught every single fish, shipped every food item except a clam. We've shipped every ore and gem, and have sold almost every crop. In terms of animals, we have Lem the cow at full hearts. We have Cactus at full hearts, and our newest member, Sharpie, at 0. Our 4 chickens are well on their way to full hearts. And we have 𝗂𝘀𝗶𝗵𝗏 the horse at full hearts, and a nice little crown for his recent win in the fall horse race. Our 2 pets, Reginald and Kevin, are at 7 and 4 hearts respectively. And finally, we own 5 out of the 20 land parcels available. If you've made it to this point in the video, I want to personally thank you for watching it. I didn't expect this video to be over an hour. I really thought it was going to be about 40-50 minutes, maybe even a little bit less. But, you know, here we are. It's a long one. It's just how it is. If you really liked the video, and even if you want to see the next 100 days, maybe 200 days video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and enable notifications. Of course, this is only the first 100 days. There's plenty of content ahead. We haven't even selected a wife yet. Sorry for those of you who wanted us to marry Alex or Blue. They're flirting pretty heavy. But in the boy version, you can only marry a girl. That's just how 𝗙𝗵𝗲𝗶𝗶 is in the early 2000s, I guess. But if you want to help me decide on who we marry, make sure to leave a comment below, and your pick may end up in the next video. Once again, I want to thank you guys for watching. It really means a lot to me that you would spend almost 80 minutes out of your day to just watch my video. And for those who, went halfway through, paused, came back, watched in chunks, I know a lot of people like to do that. I like to do that. So I want to thank you guys too. You guys are thebomb.com. With that being said, I'll probably be streaming this game a little bit. So if you want to, head over to twitch.tv/JackDuckGoose and hit the follow button, or head over to my Twitter account, links in the description, and follow me there. I also post every time I go live on Twitter. And another option is joining the Discord. We got a whole bunch of people in the Discord that love to talk about all kinds of stuff, Harvest Moon, just art, just video games in general. And I also post every time I go live there. So hit those links, join, don't join, follow, don't follow. I just want to thank you guys for watching once again, and I hope to see you in the next video.